Good day and welcome to Timeout, the program where we celebrate the unique experiences of teenage life, explore the challenges and opportunities that define adolescence, and dive into the conversations that matter most to teenagers, families, and communities. Today we'll be looking at few of the stories how fathers can actively cultivate a positive relationship with their children. And fathers' attitude can significantly affect the children's impact in development, impacting their self-esteem, emotional well-being, social skills, and overall behavior. With positive fatherly attitudes fostering confidence and security, while negative attitudes can lead to issues like anxieties, aggression, and poor self-regulation. So doing this with me today is a model. He is also what's the other words you said you were? Okay, it's a pleasure to have you here. His name is Gift Obunabari. How did I pronounce it well?
No,
Donna Barry. Oh,
yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Teens Time Out.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Express love and affection. Verbal affirmations like "I'm proud of you" or "I love you" can help build a child's confidence. Physical affection such as hugs and pats on the backs reinforces emotional security. Children often mimic their parents' behavior, so demonstrate kindness, patience, and respect. Validate your child's feeling instead of dismissing them. Saying "I understand you're upset" teaches emotional intelligence. Well, I would love to ask you a few questions on your thoughts on the issue of father and child relationship.
Okay, so basically, a father and child relationship is a bond that's very, very important in the family because, number one, I grew up in a house where I lost my dad when I was 7. I think I was still in primary school then, and I didn't really get to, grow up with that mentality of having understand the father relationship.
Okay.
With the experience I've had with my siblings, and I can say that a fatherly bond is very important because your mom can't give you that. Yeah, she's there for you, or she can give you the understanding, but you still need that fatherly relationship because it's very important. Because as a father, he tends to understand the procedures where a child is going to come from, how he's going to behave. He can compare you to do some certain things, and he can still compare you to not do some things, in the sense that you might grow up in an environment where teenagers or your peer pressure might influence you negatively, but having that fatherly bond and being able to open up to your parents and siblings, though, be able to give you that boldness and that connection you'd not have.
Okay.
Because most times when we teenagers now, when we tend to do some certain things, we might not want to share it with our parents because we be scared that what if they say this, what if they say that.
What if they condemn your thoughts and
so
that?
we would want to keep it to ourselves and then do what we feel is right. Unknowing to us that, or forgetting the fact that them also being our parents, they have also undergone those processes, so they have better understanding and better knowledge of what needs to be done, the way to go and where not to go. So we still need that relationship with our siblings.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can a father's attitude affect the environment and the society at large?
Well, basically, I'll say that women were the first creation. Yeah, so we have better understanding and better judgment, in the sense that we have been given the authoritative vibe already, so we know how to control some certain environments and have better understanding to some solutions more than women.
Okay, let's look at an instance where a particular child was trained by a single parent and let's say a father,
Okay.
and there's this other child A was trained by a father and child B was trained by a mother, a complete parent, father and mother, you know, oftentimes do you think you can differentiate between a child that was trained by the father and the one that was trained by the mother and the both parents, you know, in their lives? Well, what are the differences that you notice that you're like, this person was actually really groomed by a father?
Okay, basically, you notice that the person talks about his father more than his mother.
Do you think in situations like that, the fathers are always on a good note with their children or the particular
No, no,
child that they groomed?
no. They are not always. They are children, teenagers most especially, are more scared of their fathers than mothers because they feel that their fathers are always like they're always judgy, they're always like quick to actions and stuff. So they feel like that everything their father is doing is it's not what they want.
Okay,
Like
so more often times they'll prefer to be open to
to
their
their mother,
mothers more
yeah.
than the fathers.
But
Why
when
do
it
you think that's like that?
I don't know. It's nature basically because you know mothers have this way of loving their children.
Okay.
Yeah, but fathers now they're always compelling. They always want to do this, not to do that, don't do this, don't do that, and stuff like that. So they feel like they are not being they are not shown the kind of love they expect from a father. So they always tend to go towards their mother more. But when they tend to grow up, that's when they not tend to realize that everything their father has taught them, like right from time I've been college, that's when they now start trying getting to understand that okay, what my dad was saying this time was actually right too. If I knew around, I've followed it through this process and stuff like that, yeah.
Okay. You talked about your upbringing, how you were groomed by your mom because
Yeah.
you were trained by your mom because she led to that when
Yeah.
you were younger. Did you have the opportunity of having a masculine figure, not say fatherly because we can't really say, but someone that stood in as a father in your life and like tried to put you through as a man, you know, growing up, certain changes that you observe on your body and you didn't know how to go about it. Someone you did talk to, was it actually a man or a woman, or let's say your mom, or you actually just decided to sort it out on your own?
I actually decided to sort it out on my own though because I grew up in a house where my siblings are all older than me and
Okay.
they're all done with university though and most of them are married. So I was like the last one of the house. So I was treated like specially and separate since I didn't tend to like grow up with them together and stuff
Okay.
like that. So I decided to like make my own research and deal with the way I wanted to do.
Okay, did you make right decisions or you made mistakes in between those
Yeah, I
things?
made mistakes though. I was still compelled to because it will show definitely and it's still be seen and certainly even if it's not being noticed by your siblings or your parents within you have friends, you have family friends and stuff that outside that will still be able to like see and tell you that okay what you're doing is wrong. Have your mom thought about this? Has she seen some certain things and stuff like that? So you know when you're tend to like reason all those aspects now you be like okay, this thing is bad. I need to make some changes and stuff like that. So you just have to like undergo the process.
Okay, in a home where, like you talked about, and the children or teenagers oftentimes wanting to relate to the mother in certain decisions or they need a particular thing
Yeah.
instead of the father. How do you think fathers can actively cultivate a positive relationship with their children in order to make them want to be free with them? Growing up, I had an experience that whenever my dad is back from work, everybody keeps shouting, "Daddy's back, Daddy's back." Everybody wants to be in their good
Yeah.
good notes. You don't want to be seen doing whatever, and you turn off the TV. You're studying your book or you're doing your homework or something. You know, so there was this fear we had from our dad at the time as kids that we didn't really feel free, you know, doing certain things in front of him, you know. So how do you think fathers can actively cultivate a positive relationship with their children in that
Well,
aspect?
basically, it's not gonna start from this age because it's be a bit difficult though. So he has to start from basically when the child is born, in the sense that you have to keep showing him or her that love and affection that you need to, and teaching him some processes, playing around with him and stuff, telling him when to do this, when not to do that. With that kind of procedure, you'll be able to like get your child's confidence, say, okay, that if I do some certain things, my dad will be like, okay, this is wrong. Okay, what if I do this? Should I tell him or I shouldn't tell him? You feel that urge to like tell your dad some certain things, in the sense that you know that he's free with you, he's like your friend, and so you want to share some certain things with him. Yeah, so
Okay, let's give an instance of a situation where growing up as a teenager, you have a dad and there was this rift between the both of you, whereas you don't agree on the same notes, you guys don't speak on language, you don't agree on his terms, he's always saying things contrary to your decision. But let's say you're not all that bad, the child, and you're trying to get better as a teenager growing up, and we could notice, let's say, that as a male teenager, that you just somehow start developing resentment towards your father. If we have to look at it from that angle, do we say the mistake is from the father or the teenager?
well, I wouldn't say the mistakes from anybody. It depends on your understanding.
Okay, sometimes don't you think it could be an overbearing situation where they're not, teenagers are not allowed to like make their decisions on their own? And let's give for instance, um, profession we want to study, like young adults have in mind. Like let's say if you want to do music and you're doing modeling assistance, and your father really wants you to be a lawyer or probably a doctor, and it's not something you feel you can venture into and get out of it successfully, but you know that this career you're venturing into, which is modeling, will actually you'll do better in it. So there'll be this conflicting um, um, thing going on between the father and you, yeah, that kind of situation. So do we have to blame the parent in that instance or the child?
Yeah, you have to blame the parents, because one, you're the one studying the course, and you're the one that knows what's not to be. You don't basically know what's best for you at the say, but you know to an extent what you want to do.
Okay.
So you don't have to like explain to them. It's not like you have to like shout or like be aggressive at that point, but just at least explain to them that, okay, see, this is what I want to do. This way I find passion in, and it's not like you're not going to do the course they say you should do. Yes, you're going to do it, but this is where your passion lies,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So when they have calmed down and they have thought that, okay, I'm not the one doing this course. It's my daughter. She might at some point do well. She might not do well. Nobody knows. But this is not where her passion lies. This is where her passion lies. So it's now left for them to now like get that understanding, to now decide if what you want to do is right or is wrong, or if it's something that it's not right. They can tell you that, okay, see, this is why we want you to study this, or this is why I want you to study that, stuff like that. With that aspect, now there will be like a better understanding between the parents and the child. But when you're just compelling me to like do this all the time, I'll end up not doing it. Even if I do it, I'll like, it's not because I'll just do it and then give you a certificate, like it belongs to you now, and you stand do what you want to do. But when there's that understanding, there'll be a better relationship and love in the family.
Okay, that understanding, do you think it has to come from the father first of all, the teenager, the child in question?
I think it's from the child. It should be from the child, because you're the one that has the course. You're the one that the profession is being allowed on to, so it has to be from the teenager.
Okay, finally, before we move on, also, there's oftentimes been situations where in a home we see this rifts between father and most of his children, and sometimes it could probably be like, let's say they see things that that particular father does to the mom, and they begin to grow you know,
hatred.
yes, hatred towards the father, you know, and the man is the head of the home. You know, imagine when there's no um, respect on the father, and then this child is released into the society to integrate and socialize with every other person. How do you think that particular teenager that did not give that respect to the father? Let's say, yeah, it's the father's fault by not being there for the children, and then this particular child grows up feeling reluctant and disrespectful to the figurehead of the home. How do you think it affects the child's life in the society?
It's going to be very bad because he would picture that every head of the family is built in that aspect because he would like it's not how my father used to do and stuff like that. So it's to change his perspective of things towards a male figure, and he will not like start compelling them. Say if he was to grow if it was a girl and she was to grow up to a certain age, she would now like start seeing men as what they say scum and stuff like that.
Or say I won't marry a man like my father kind of
And
situation.
stuff like that. So it's change their perspective of things. But what needs to be done is they need to undergo counseling, because most times, most things that happen in the family, it's not just because they are meant to happen. Also, it's basically most times lack of understanding, and you know that most our parents now they don't really understand what's happening in the 21st century. So
Okay.
it's less for you to like just at least educate them to an extent that see there are some certain
It's not like
things
it
you
used
do,
to be.
yeah, that it's no longer the norms now, that this is what's happening, this is the good and this is the bad. So it's left for you to like educate them.
And what if the most of them are like, I want you to be like me, when I was your age? You know, sometimes they will be like, when I was your age, at your age, I was actually a very vibrant child. These children of this generation, oftentimes there's these statements like that, that children of this generation are
Yeah,
not as respectful as the children of the older days.
you're not gonna blame us. It's not our fault. We're born in the 21st century where the internet is now becoming order of the day, and a lot of things are changing now. Because even the educational system itself now, they're no longer looking for what you studied or this or that. It's basically your skill and what you have to offer that is becoming the norms of the day. So things of then and things of now are no longer like aligning with each other. So you just have to like give them that understanding that see you. I know that yes, in your time you did some things. You used to go to the farm and stuff like that, but now you can't go to the farm again. Now you have to like go to the
So what
market, stuff
if your
like that.
parents are like not like the main typical farmers? Let's say farmers that actually have farms in the house and they need you to help cultivate. Sometimes you will not do it.
No, you'd have to, because
Oh,
you also have to learn, because
okay.
the time will come when you also want to like okay venture into agriculture and
Yeah.
stuff, and it also pays though.
Okay.
It also pays.
Thank you. Well, do children raised with emotional support and guidance are more likely to develop empathy and social responsibility? A child who experiences neglect or hostility at home may exhibit behavioral issues in school and social settings, sometimes leading to delinquency or crime. Well, parents will, like you stated, the generation has changed. I think there's generation alpha as it stands, new generation alpha. So it's been an a, a, a changing thing, kind of, if I may say. Like, it's not like it used to be in their times. Oftentimes when they want us to, be the same way that they were, because it's not possible. Because they say the beautiful ones are not yet born, and the minds of the young not now, it's not the same like that of our fathers. So like you said, it just has to get to you just have to get to that mind of understanding where you know that okay, this is a different generation and their mentality is not the same as ours, and several things would have changed, So that we should just come to that part where we understand each other and know how to put heads together, because you notice in most homes, in especially African homes, the children are very close, rarely close to their fathers.
Yeah.
It's just very few of them that we can see are actually really close to their fathers, which is not supposed to be, because it's necessary you have a better relationship with your father. You know, it's not like you shouldn't have with your mom, but as much as you do with the mom, you should also do with the father. And also fathers should just give the teenagers the opportunity to relate with them when need be, and not condemn them when they make mistakes, because most times when you make mistakes, or let's say you have a particular result and you did not get to that particular grade that they need, and there's this talk down tone on killing personalities of of young dance. And most times when the parent gets, let's say, because we're focusing on the father right now, because he's the head, because sometimes when the father scolds the child, the mother would want to pat the child and like console you. Let's give an instance where you make a mistake and your father scolds you. You will not want to come back again to come and tell him, oh, this is it. You rather go to a friend or your mom, yes, if you need to. So there should just be an open arms where you allow your children to relate with you. But I think the parents, the fathers of this generation are actually doing really well, where they have decided to intentionally, integrate in the life of their children by wanting to know who their friends are, their children's friends are, and things that they do, and not pushing them to do what they do not want to do, because there will always be that conflict situation going on there. Thank you so much on this gift. Well, we have to move forward to the next topic of discussion, which is social media influencers. Social media influencers have a significant impact on teenagers, shaping their behaviors, opinions, and self-perception. While influencers provide inspiration and valuable content, they can also contribute to unrealistic expectations and negative self-esteem. Below are both the positive and negative effects of social media influencers on teenagers. Um, Social media influencers have both positive and negative effects on teenagers. While they can provide inspiration, education, and a sense of community, they can also promote unrealistic expectation, materialism, and mental health struggles. Teaching media literacy, encouraging health online habits, and promoting real-life wealth are key to ensuring that social media influences teenagers in a positive way. I'd love to get your thoughts on, well, first off, I just want to get your ideology, personal ideology of what you understand as a social media influencer, because I'm sure you're in TikToker. You actually want, right? You should be one active TikToker on social media, but what do you actually know as a social media influencer?
Well, social media influencers are basically people who just entertain the audience. Yeah, with their content, a certain type of content. Either you're a comedian, an actor, a singer, or everything. You just have to entertain the audience to, gain more likes, more followers, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Has social media influencers done more harm than good in the life of teenagers at this particular generation?
Yeah, they have done more harm.
More harm.
I
Yeah. So can you state most of the harms that social media influencers has done?
Okay. Well, basically, um, let me see, trying to remember a particular TikToker. Um, okay, he's basically a model, though. His
Okay.
name is Alton Mason.
Okay.
Now, Alton Mason is a very good figure when it comes to modeling, in the sense that basically he's my role model. Because the way he walks, the way he talks, his facial structure and everything is very compelling. You be like, oh my god, like was he shaped specially or stuff like that? But no, he was just a regular guy who just found interest in modeling, and he has decided to boost his career to some certain extent, where people now are tending to like adhere towards his direction, like trying to be like him, look like him, and stuff like that. So now, basically, now how he has done more harms, in the sense that you might now want to like start doing like some certain things he does. Let me see, like as a guy, you can there's a certain way you can make up yourself and you look like a girl. Yeah, stuff like that. So now that ideology is just not the norms. Like, why would you want to look like a girl and stuff like that? So it has really started deviating from the norms. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's an aspect where you can say, yeah, it has done more harm than good. Well, do teenagers end up making most of these influencers role models? Like you stated about, yes, you end up making this one your role model. And oftentimes we see that most teenagers, let's say there's a particular TikToker or an influencer that did a particular dance step or use a particular song, to do advertise a particular product. We notice that oftentimes teenagers especially want to do that. We just want to copy that particular person, but I want to get your thoughts too.
Yeah, Naira Marley, for example. Then when he started the No Belts gang, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, she wearing trousers with belts now, man. You don't know the norms. So you like, what you wearing? What are you wearing belts for now? Everybody was like going off belts, sagging their trousers and stuff, and it's not proper. Doesn't look responsible. Yeah, so and that. Yeah,
And then along the line, a particular individual, especially teenagers, end up inculcating that into their personality, and that's not really who they are if you check. Well, how can parents protect their children from the negative impact of social media influencers? Since you said yes, there's a negative part, we'll also look at the positive part of it. But I'd love to know how parents can protect their teenagers from the negative parts of social media influencers.
Okay, well, basically, I would say for starters, you pray for your children. Yes, because it's not going to be easy for you to say you just want to like stop your child from doing a certain thing. It's going to take a period of time.
Or you control, you can't really control them. Even taking their phones away will not really work.
It doesn't change anything, yes, because they still have ways basically of
because you're
getting to learn, getting to learn what we want to learn. So basically, for starters, it's prayers, for example, for starters, and secondly, you have to like give them that understand. You have to talk to them, advise them from time to time that this is the way your brother lives, your siblings and stuff like that. So you cannot start being different because it's going to feel like this our family name. It's going to bring shame or it's going to bring a stain. Now it's not left for the child now to go with that understanding that okay, what I'm doing is not basically right. I know that it's something I would want to do, but it's not right. I just have to like stop this thing, at least, even if I want to do it. Let me just feel like it's not everything that happens in the society
that's actually real. And let's look at a particular trend of not wanting to, rather crying in a private jet than that laughing in a kind of bed. And oftentimes that trend of young girls saying that I'd rather marry a Ned Woko than marry a Chinedu Ikedieze that cannot provide for me, that kind of situation. So we can also look at as a social media influence that has also affected the teenager's life too. Well, there are actually positive parts that influencers in fields like fitness, education, and entrepreneurship can motivate teenagers to set goals, develop skills, and work towards personal growth. Many influencers promote healthy lifestyles, academic success, and self-improvement. If we have to look at the negative side, there is pressure to conform and lose individuality. Many teens feel pressured to follow trends, dress a certain way like you
talk, and I just watch some certain influencers sing. I be like,
you want to be like,
how are they doing it? Is that they have a special training or something? Like, we just have to like want to like learn new songs, practice, also in my modeling career too, I I didn't really know how to work like perfectly. Not like
Yeah.
I'm perfect though, but I kept watching people work like automation for starters for male models.
Okay.
We have Shalom Hallow, a very good female cast worker. There are lots more. But from their works, you like learn new steps, new process, how to pose, and it grooms you. It brings your confidence and your boldness higher.
Can I ask you a question? This
Yeah,
career, modeling career that you decided to choose,
yeah.
was it a personal decision or you were influenced by a social media influencer?
No, it was a personal decision because I've been watching them on TV and I was like, oh my god, how this guy
That
go
means you were
through?
actually influenced
Yeah, by the
to an
TV.
extent. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the same thing. Because,
yeah. So
but is it something your parents are actually good with? Like they're okay with it?
well, they haven't really said anything. They have just been seeing me work and go for
As far as
shows.
you're going to school
Yeah,
and you're chasing
yeah,
your
but it's
academics. So.
yes, but balancing it now is now where it comes in.
Okay.
It's a bit tougher than I expected because
Mm. Most of them were influencers, most of the social media influencers. When you see
yeah,
someone that said, I was 250 and I lost like 90 kg, and you'll be like, really? So if this person